go see It Chapter 2. Some interviews. We're going to see how this movie turns out. Some were lucky enough to see it yesterday. I chose not to see it yesterday, so I'm going to see it today. Um, and we're gonna see. We're gonna do our review. We're gonna see what's what, and see how good this thing really is. Welcome to Is It Worth It? I'm Cleotis Alexander, and today we're going to be talking about It Chapter 2. If you've read the book, or if you've seen the previous It movie written by Stephen King, here you see Mike Hamlin as a young kid, and you know from the book, Mike does not leave Derry, and Mike stays. Mike stays around, and I like the fact that Mike stays in Derry. Mike stays true to his form as a librarian. He starts to research and find out about it, the dancing clown, or Pennywise, the dancing clown. He does research as a librarian. He remembers everything because he never left Derry. So as a kid, Mike remembers everything. Mike tracks down murder scenes and things like that to find out what's going on. Mike is prompted to do that when he starts to see posters of missing children start to pop up everywhere. So that prompts Mike to want to reach out and get the Losers Club back together. And here you see the Losers Club are back together from the original movie. The Loser Club get back together. They have a dinner, and they don't quite remember everything. As I said, Mike is the only one who stayed in Derry, so Mike remembers pretty much everything. So he has to get the Losers Club back together and remind them of things. Here you see a scene from the original It, and how all the Loser Club were together, and they had that dinner, and then they opened their fortune cookies, and it's full of disgusting things. Well, some scenes like that will take place in this It Chapter 2. I'm not going to try to spoil the movie too much, but this is one of the scenes that you will definitely recognize from the book and from It Chapter 2. Stan in the movie, in both movies, Stan was the weakest link of the Losers Club, and here you'll see a lot of about Stan in the opening scenes and things like that. And you'll get to know Stan, and you'll get to revisit who Stan was, and if in fact Stan makes it with them to go out and fight Pennywise or It. You'll get to see that. You'll get to witness that, and this movie has a lot of flashbacks. So just in case you don't remember or you do forget, this movie does go back and remind you of who each character was and how it is related to them. And it wasn't bad. Like I said, I really enjoyed the movie. I really thought it followed the book very well. And like I said, it was just impressive. I had no issues with the movie. Here you see Andy Bean. He's going to be the actor that's going to portray Stan in the movie. He does a great job. The casting guy, he does a great job of showing the kids from their younger selves to their older selves. So he does a very good job with that. And then, like I say, you get to see the torment and everything that Stan was put through when dealing with Pennywise throughout the movie of It. And here you see a bloody hand. You have reason to believe, if you read the book, that this could be Stan's hand, and that he committed suicide. Like I say, you'll have to watch the movie to find out, but that's what it said. And if you read the book, that may be true. Here you have Bill in a carnival. A lot of things are going to happen in this movie where you're going to see It or Pennywise in his natural habitat, his natural element as a clown. So you're going to see him around a lot of circuses, a lot of scenes like that, where he's just tormenting them. And each of the losers members have to go back and they have to go back and revisit what scared them the most about It, what made them connect with It. Here you see Beverly; she's going through her past, and you just have to see what frightens them, and what brings them to it. And it's great, man. I think it's really good that that this happens like this in the movie, that it's followed the script like this, that the script was written out so well. And here you have Bill again in the circus. He's trying to save this kid, and this kid is man, look like he's gonna be in a bad way if Bill can't get to him and save him from Pennywise. So that's definitely a scene that you want to pay attention to. You definitely want to, when you watch the movie, keep an eye on that kid, follow Bill. Try to remember back to the original movie when you're watching this movie, because there's a lot of Easter eggs in this movie, and it was really great to see a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of references from the book, a lot of references from that time in people's lives about the movie and that era, that decade. So this movie was great. Like I said, I liked everything that it did with that. Here you see the it balloon floating around. You see what possibly and could be Henry Bowers. We don't know. Let's see, try not to give up too much, but yeah, you don't really know for sure if that's Henry Bowers, or how he plays a role in this movie, if that's him. Like I said, I do know the Losers Club do run up heavily against a lot of their former past, and and they have to remember things, and some of it's going to be very bad for them. Here you see Henry Bowers definitely getting after one of the Losers Club from the original It movie, where he cuts the kid's belly, the fat kid. So yeah, he definitely does a great job, and it, like I say, these kids definitely do a great job. And in the book, Henry Bowers is supposed to be taken over by it, and he's blamed for the murder of his father. So we'll have to see if a lot of that plays a role in it. And there you see Henry Bowers falling down into the cave where it lays, and see, like I say, I never known if he had survived this, but in the book it suggests that he does, and then he goes on his killing spree. Here you see Beverly reliving her moment of what her worst nightmare was, or worst encounter was with it. And it said that this movie has the most red stuff spewing that flows through your body. It has the most red stuff involved in this movie than any movie ever. So that's good to know, and it's good to see. I really can't say what I want to say because YouTube likes to monetize things and shut things down. So kind of use the bad language, bad grammar, or whatever. But just trying to keep it as clean as possible and get it out so that the movie won't be shut down by YouTube. But again, as we continue on, here's Beverly dealing with that red stuff, and that red stuff is going to be the most that it's been in a scene in one movie. Think of something like 45 or 55,000 gallons of that red stuff. In one interview, she described it as a scene that it was gross, but it was a necessary scene for the movie, so she did do it. And the acting was just great, from the young cast members all the way up to their older selves, and it just worked out perfectly. So I had no issues with the movie, no issues with the younger cast members, no issues with the back and forth in the movie. Just because it blended together so well, and they did not disappoint when they did it. A lot of people say that they didn't think the movie was as scary as it could have been. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's just an opinion. It could have been a little scarier. I mean, I did like it. It did have some jump moments in it. I think I may have jumped once or twice just because of the way the music hits and comes at you. So yeah, definitely, the movie does have some jump scenes. Here you see a scene with Bill. He's facing his past and his demons, and how Pennywise tormented him as a kid, and still torments him now as an adult. So you'll get to see that from each each Losers Club member and how they have to deal with that tragedy. So definitely, like I say, definitely I give this movie 5 stars. Go see it. And that's Bill and his younger version of himself. He's just watching that reenactment of himself from the original It, or from the It Chapter 1 remake. So definitely, like I say, just pay attention to all of that, because it's definitely going to play a major role in the movie. And it's not a confusing movie, but it's definitely a movie where you don't want to miss a whole lot. You definitely want to pay attention to it. And for the 3 hour time frame that the movie is, I mean, it's worth it. It's not an extremely boring time frame. Like, you don't get too exhausted in that time frame, but you do have some stretchy moments where you're like, oh, I'm still in here. But it's not. It doesn't. It picks up quickly and maintains that, so you don't have to worry about being too bored. But there is some dull moments. There is some, sitting for 3 hours watching this movie. There is some time where you be like, oh, whew, I'm still here. But it does give you a relief, and you do revive from it. So it is okay to sit through this 3 hour movie. As we continue on with the trailer and the breakdown, I like to say Bill is still here, listening to his younger brother Georgie, and Beverly's back and forth with her demons. So it's I don't think this scene is this long in the movie, but it's definitely a scene that puts a lot of stuff into perspective. It's best for these two characters here. And there you see Beverly with her older self and a younger self. In previous, you saw her breaking a glass. And there's a lot of different ways that Pennywise comes at the Losers Club. It's almost like a Freddy Krueger-esque type deal. So you definitely don't want to miss out on too much, or don't assume that it's just a dream or it's not reality, because he comes after them in a multitude of ways. And here's some more excerpts from the book where you have the three doors. It's also from the original It movie and the remake of Chapter 1, where you have to make a decision whether you want to go through the three doors and see what lies behind them. But they have no choice. You have to pick a door and go through it. It's not that you have a choice. You can't just ignore this and walk away from it. You have to pick a choice. So I like that. I like that they revisit the book. They revisit the original It Chapter 2. I mean, the It Chapter 1 movie, the original that Stephen King did back in the late mid 80s. So I definitely like how they go back and touch on all that. Here's that old creepy old house that you see It lives in, and where all the haunting and everything happens. So that I'm glad that they put that house back in it, and they actually got to see it in its totality from the beginning to the end, and all around it and all through it. So yeah, I'm definitely pleased with how this movie turns out and everything that goes on with it. Like I say, yeah, Bill and himself, he's going through and he's checking out the movies. He's finding papers. He's going back, and it's just all sorts of, like I say, Easter eggs all through this movie that leads them to figure out stuff, whether it's how to defeat Pennywise, or where Pennywise is going to be, or just things to help them remember. Here's Pennywise before he actually becomes the demonistic dancing clown. This is what he looks like before his complete satanic transformation. I don't know if you get to see that in the movie, or if they're going to go back and do a prequel and actually show uh, this and how Pennywise looked before he became the clown, and what it all leads up to. And I think that ties more into who Beverly is. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't read the book, but I think it will. It would be great to see a prequel of how Pennywise became Pennywise, instead of just short little excerpts of it in the movie. It'd be good to definitely see how Pennywise becomes Pennywise and why he becomes Pennywise. It is said in the movie and throughout the book that Pennywise is millions and millions and millions, tens of millions of years old, and he comes back every 27 years. So he's been doing this almost seems like since the beginning of time, and he just picks Derry. Derry is either it was his home from the start, or he just picked Derry. Like I said, I haven't read the book, so I can't give you exact details on it, but that's something that you'll figure out and you'll see in the movie. And here Beverly continues to walk around and look and check out her past and face her fears. So, like I say, this movie was just 5 stars for me. I had nothing to complain about in this movie. There's a picture of Pennywise in his human form. This is either before he became the dancing clown, or it has to be before he became the dancing clown, but we don't know if at this point he was starting to be satanic or he was just, a circus guy. So there'll be more details on that in the movie. And like I said, if you read the book by Stephen King, then you will definitely see and get some more idea of who it is and how he became who he was. There you see Pennywise biting Georgie's little hand off, and here's him and Bill again with the little kid, and Pennywise is definitely making a point to try to get to this kid, and he just scares the bejesus out of everybody. And he's that, man. Pennywise is definitely the a-hole that he's supposed to be in this movie. It's gruesome. This movie is not for little children. It's definitely a little more graphic than the It Chapter 1 remake. So if you get a chance to go see it, I definitely suggest going to see It Chapter 2. It came out September 6th, so you actually have it's been out for a week now, so you should have no problem with being able to go see It Chapter 2. And like always, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and just go see the movie, man. Enjoy the movie. Hit me up in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about the movie, what you thought about the movie, if you read the book, if you think that it didn't reach its apex in the movie, if it wasn't a good enough movie, if something should be changed. Let me know your thoughts and concerns, gripes and complaints, and all of that good stuff about the movie.